Hello, and welcome to the screencast for LIT272, Good Books, Intertextual Approaches to Literature in the Bible. I'm Dr. Meredith Warren, and I'll be leading this module along with Dr. Katie Edwards. Katie and I are both biblical scholars here in the School of English. My research focuses on the New Testament, as well as on ancient Romance novels. I've published on the Gospel of John, the Book of Revelation, and other ancient Christian and Jewish texts that got left out of the Bible. I've presented my research all over the world, in Europe, the United States, Canada, where I'm from, and here in the UK. In much of my work, I use sensory analysis, looking at the ways that touch, smell, and taste play a role in literary descriptions of religious experience. For instance, my book, My Flesh is Meat Indeed, looks at the language of eating, human sacrifice, and cannibalism in the Gospel of John. I also lead the Embodied Religion research theme within the Sheffield Institute for Interdisciplinary Biblical Studies, or SIBS as we call it. I'll also introduce Dr. Katie Edwards. Katie works on representations of biblical stories in contemporary culture, and in particular how gender is reinscribed or challenged in popular interpretations of Jesus, Eve, or Mary. She recently wrote an article about Beyoncé's pregnancy photos, discussing issues of race and gender in the singer's portrayal of the Virgin Mary. Katie's book, Adam and Eve, examined how the Bible has been used in contemporary advertising and what that might mean for our assumptions about biblical literacy. As well as being the director of SIBS, Katie leads the research group called the Shiloh Project, which is a collaborative research group focused on unpacking the interrelationship between the Bible and rape culture. Now that I've introduced us, I'll tell you a little about good books. This module will explore how creative works from literature and art to television and advertising constantly make use of biblical tropes, narratives, and characters. How our culture understands the Bible has changed over the centuries, but what persists is its presence in almost every corner of art. Intertextual readings of the Bible and literature can illuminate how authors and artists engage with politics, philosophy, and gender. Using a range of genres and approaches, together we'll analyze how creative authors interpret and reimagine biblical tropes and narratives. Our goal for this module is to enable you, as literary scholars, to grasp the full depth of the images that the authors make use of. The Bible is a pervasive influence, and with the right tools, you'll be able to examine the implications of its presence in a variety of sources. We'll give you the skills to analyze biblical intertextuality, to understand the range of interpretations of biblical narratives, and to respond critically to those narratives and tropes when you see them. This slide gives you an idea of the range of texts we might explore throughout the module. Genesis is a rich source for intertextual biblical study. For instance, the recent blockbuster Noah not only retold the biblical story of the flood using the medium of film, but also included stories from lost ancient texts like 1st Enoch. Judith, the apocryphal heroine who saves her people by beheading the general Holofernes, has featured prominently in art history, but her bravery has also been transformed and reimagined in theater. And of course, our apocalyptically focused culture continually references the Book of Revelation in film, art, television, and literature. From William Blake's series of paintings depicting the personae of the apocalypse to the disaster comedy This Is the End, apocalyptic images and tropes pervade contemporary culture. This module will meet twice a week for an hour. 1 hour will be a lecture, and the other hour will be a seminar where you'll get to engage with the text and try out your analytical skills. In terms of assessment, you'll hand in a portfolio of your work over the semester, including an analysis of one example of an artistic, literary, or cinematic interpretation of the Bible, as well as your own creative translation of a biblical excerpt. In that portion of the portfolio, you'll be able to reimagine what a biblical text might look like in our own context, using any medium you'd like: a short film, a painting, a short story, a poem, a song, or a sculpture. It's really up to you. You'll also submit an analysis of your own piece, exploring the methods you used, justifying the creative and interpretive choices you made, and contextualizing your rereading in light of critical scholarship on literature and the Bible. Another portion of your mark will be made up of a semi-public presentation, where you'll showcase your finished pieces to a friendly group of your level cohort and staff. If you have any questions, please contact us. We hope we'll be able to welcome you to the module soon.